Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Drawing Down the Stars. I'm Snappy, and thank you for joining me for our live tarot session today, November 18th, 2024. It's a beautiful day and a wonderful evening. Let's give a shout out to everyone here in the chat. Great to see you, Beatnik. Much love. Gomi Kozu. Valerie, good to see you. Biba Boli, much love. Gandhi, much love. Christy, great to see you. Ray DB, much love. Holler Haint, great to see you. Ganymede, much love. Taz, all the love in the world. Isaac, much love. Daphne, wonderful to see you. Much love. Thank you guys for joining me. So let's start by talking a bit about today's astrology. We are now in the moon in Cancer. We have moved out of Gemini and we're into Cancer. And we're now coming out of that full intensity of the new moon as we continue in our lunar cycle. And now with this energy in Cancer, it's this energy of wanting to be close to the family, of wanting to protect and be with those you love, of really feeling this profound emotional depth, of really connecting to those core relationships in your life and leaning on them. Cancer energy is that energy of caring and support, but in that watery, motherly sense. And it wants to be in that protective, providing mode. So we're going to feel that strength, that desire to stand up, and that desire to be with. Just be careful. Don't snap at the wrong people, right? Especially with this energy of the sun in Scorpio, which is such a freeing energy. It's such an intense energy. And when you combine these two, there is that intensity, that intense mama who doesn't want anyone coming near her kids, But it's beautiful. Embrace this loving energy, connect to those foundational relationships in your life, and be that protector. We all need it, right? Beautiful. Okay, let's talk for a minute about our title. Our devotion to others illuminates the path. When I was meditating this morning and drawing my cards, I drew the Sun card. Such beautiful, profound energy. And it's about recognizing that sun, that harmony that exists upon the earth comes out of our action, right? It comes when we are generous, when we are giving, right? True love is without reward, right? It is a gift. It is that generation. It is that sharing without desire for something else. True love, as the pop songs go, right, isn't love until you give it away, right? Until you have no attachment. You give it freely without that need to receive in kind, right? And our devotion is what is going to draw down that sun. It is our ability to be in that energy of giving, of being that generous person, of being that sharing friend, that loving partner. It's difficult energy. And it's not something we need to embody all the time, but it's about recognizing, we give what we get. We give what we get, and we get what we give, And it's that reciprocal flow that produces the sun. If we want harmony, we have to strive for harmony. If we want joy, we have to share joy. We have to be in love. We have to be that which we admire. We have to admire and strive for that which is greater. All right, let us now go to our Ganapati oracle. Ganesha Ganapati is the Lord of beginnings, the divine child, the guardian of the threshold, and the master of the Ganas, the spirits. And we ask Ganapati to send us a message. What is the inspiring message? And ensure that our words are heard by those who need to hear them. So the message from Ganapati is energetic movement. Energetic movement. Another term for harmony, another term for being in flow, right? Being in that energy of continuation, of creation and participation, being in that dance, and recognize that none of us are still. that which still dies. We are all in perpetual motion, and we need to embrace that movement, that engagement, that transformation, that movement across time and space, right? Yeah, Scandi, the strophalon, the spinning of the top, that which distracts Zagreus and causes him to fall into creation, right? Beautiful. All right, we're now going to go, and I wanted to read for you guys a fun poem that I found. It's just a silly thing, but I think you'll like it. It's called A Soliloquy of the Full Moon, She Being in a Mad Passion by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Now as heaven is my lot, there the pests of the nation, wherever they can come with clankum and blankum, 'tis all botheration and hell and damnation. With fun jeering, conjuring, sky staring, loungering, and still to the tune of transmogrification, those muttering, sputtering, ventriloquisty poets with no hats or hats that are rusty, there might torment and curse and harass me worse and bait me and bay me, far sorrow I vow, than the screech of the owl or the witch wolf's long howl or sheep killing butcher's dogs inward bow wow. For me they all spite an unfortunate wight, and the very first moment that I came to light. A rascal called Voss the more to his scandal turned me into a sickle with never a handle. A night or two after, a worse rogue there came, the head of the gang, one Wordsworth by name. Ho, what's in the wind? 'Tis the voice of a wizard. I saw him look at me most terribly blue. He was hunting for witch rhymes from great to izzard, and soon as he found them, made no more ado, but chained me at once at little canoe. From this strange enchantment, I'm charmed by degrees. I began to take courage and hoped for some ease, when Coleridge, a wrath of the self same bandetti, passed by and intending no doubt to be witty. Because I'd fill ill fortune his taste to displease, he turned up his nose and in pitiful prose made me into the half of a small Cheshire cheese. Well, a night or two passed. It was wind and rain and hail, and I ventured abroad in a thick cloak and veil. But the very first evening he saw me again, the last mentioned ruffian popped out of his den. I was resting a moment on the bare edge of Nadle. I fancied the sight of me turned his brains idle. And for what was I now? A complete barley mow. And when I climbed higher, he made a long leg, and he chained me at once to an ostrich egg. By now, heaven be praised, in contempt of the loon, I am myself, I, the jolly full moon. Yet my heart is still fluttering, for I heard the rogue muttering. He was hulking and skulking at the skirt of a wood, when lightly and brightly up on tiptoe I stood on the long level line of a motionless cloud, and ho, what a skittle ground, quoth he aloud, and wished from his heart nine pins to see, in brightness and size just proportioned to me. So I feared for my soul that he'd make me a bull, but in spite of his spite, this was more than his might. And still heaven be praised, in contempt of the loon, I myself, I, the jolly full moon. Such silliness, but also a lot of beauty here, right? The moon will always be that moon, no matter what the poets say, though they may color our perception. But all that is left to change anyway, till the next poet comes along. The moon will always be that joyous wonder that inspires. All right, let's continue. I want to now go to the sortes, and we are going to begin with Lao Tzu Tao Te Ching. For those of you unaware, the sortes is a form of bibliomancy, that is divination through literature, and it comes to us from the Greco-Roman tradition. And we ask the goddesses, the divine muses, to send us a message through the text. So muses, what is the message from Lao Tzu? Inspire us this evening. All right. Those who possess the highest benevolence were always seeking to carry it out and have no need to be doing so. Those who possess the highest righteousness were always seeking to carry it out and had no need to be doing so. This is so profound and is what I was talking about with that sun. Those who possess the highest benevolence were always seeking to carry it out. Those who were truly kind, those who wanted to be helpful and truly wanted to devote themselves to community, did it without desire for reward, did it without being need to be told. Those who possess the highest righteousness were always seeking to carry it out and have no need to be doing so. And even the righteous still, those who were truly righteous, simply were righteous. And they did not seek out scandal or the need to reprimand. They simply were as they were. Beautiful. Love it. Let's continue. We're going to go now to Euripides, 10 plays. Muses, what is the message from Euripides? Inspire us this evening. In a chariot with horses, they brought me to the sands of Aulis, a bride. Oh, the mockery of it. For the sons of Nereus' daughters, alas, alas, today I live an alien in the cheerless abodes of the unfriendly sea, husbandless, childless, homeless, loveless. Wow. In a chariot with horses, they brought me to the sands of Aulis, a bride. Oh, the mockery of it, for the son of Nereus' daughter. Alas, alas, today I live an alien in the cheerless abodes of the unfriendly sea, husbandless, childless, homeless, loveless. What an intense image. Immediately we're struck by the chariot, right? The chariot, that sign of Helios, Hephaestus, of movement and of taking responsible action. They brought me to the sands, a bride, but a mockery of it. In a chariot as a bride, something that should be this grandiose, righteous, responsible act, something beautiful and profound. This is not so. This is a mockery. Alas, alas, today I live an alien in the cheerless abodes of the unfriendly sea. I live an alien, the other, in an unfriendly sea, flowing among the tides, husbandless, childless, homeless, and loveless, without connection to anyone else. What an intense image. Let's continue. We are now going to go to the House of the Dead, Jeremy Reed. Muses, what is the message from Jeremy Reed? Inspire us this evening. I jolted back into my own reality, walking the shore under a fuming red sun, altered by some sort of morphic resonance to what I'd left behind with my black ship, and went to Circe in her red bedroom, who synchronicity started to strip, and dealt it to her how I'd regained sense of personal mission as time traveler, and how the languor of her indoor pool in which the devil sat at the bottom no longer held me captive. Wow. I jolted back into my own reality, walking the shore under a fuming red sun, altered by some sort of morphic revenance to what I'd left behind with my black ship. The morphic red sun, even the sun is altered. Reality seems false, seems different from when he was on his ship. And went to Circe in her red bedroom, who synchronistically started to strip. Soon as I entered her bedroom, she started to remove her clothing and dealt it to her how I'd regained sense of personal mission as time traveler, and how the languor of her indoor pool in which the devil sat at the bottom no longer held me captive. Her pool, which the devil sat at the bottom, I immediately think of the story of the nymphs and of Attis, and of being bound down into the mud, and this rejection of the nymph for that higher, greater mother, for that higher love. Wow. Is that what we see here with Odysseus? Is Penelope the pursuit of that higher love? Or is he spurning the goddess for something lesser and repeating the cycles of trauma again and again? He certainly thinks he's doing the righteous act. I don't know the answer, but it's interesting to think on. Let's continue. Muses. Let us now go to The Telltale Heart and Other Writings by Edgar Allan Poe. Muses, what is the message from Edgar Allan Poe? Inspire us. We had no other means of collecting the rain than by holding the sheet spread out with one of the 4 chain plates in the middle of it. The water thus conducted to the center was drained through into our jug. We had nearly filled it in this manner when a heavy squall coming on from the north wind obliged us to desist, as the hulk began once more to roll so violently that we no longer could keep our feet. Again, we have this intense image of being on a ship on the waters. Only way to collect water is from the rain in a sheet. Wow. As you're tossed and turned and you see a greater storm coming still. Wild. Let's continue. We're now going to go to The Stranger by Albert Camus. Muses, what is the message from Camus? Inspire us this evening. After that, I saw a lot of the magistrate, except that my lawyer was with me each time. But it was just a matter of clarifying certain things in my previous statements, or else the magistrate would discuss the charges with my lawyer. But on those occasions, they never really paid much attention to me. Anyway, the tone of the questioning gradually changed. The magistrate seemed to have lost interest in me and to have come to a sort of decision about my case. Wow. When others decide your fate and you have little to say, when it seems so out of your control, when you are powerless in the hands of a system. Wow. We are now going to go to Lorca, 3 Tragedies. Muses, what is the message from Federico Garcia Lorca? Inspire us. The Last Prayer. I'm going over and listen. I certainly like the way our priest sings. In the Paternoster, his voice went up and up like a pitcher filling with water little by little. Of course, at the end, his voice cracked, but it's glorious to hear it. No, there never was anybody like the old sacristans, Tronchapionos. At my mother's mass, may she rest in peace, he sang. The walls shook, and when he said amen, it was as if a wolf had come into the church, imitating him. Amen. She starts coughing. Oh, wow. This is interesting. The last prayer I'm going over and listen. I certainly like the way our priest sings. In the Pater Noster, his voice went up and up like a pitcher filling with water little by little. Of course, at the end, his voice cracked, but it's glorious to hear it. That human fragility, giving an expression of love to that divine image, to something transcendent and greater, participating in that Bacchic revelry, in that transcendent bliss of love and fulfillment in the performance, in that expression of joy, which resounds and inspires others around you. You know, there's much power in this kind of singing, in this type of devotion, right? Why do we see so many different groups who do this? The Bacchants, right? For a perfect example. The Bhaktis, for another example. You know, we've all seen the Bhaktis, right? The Hare Krishnas chanting the names of God in perpetual love and devotion. But it's not them. You see this all over. The Orthodox with the Jesus prayer. Beautiful. Let us continue. All right. Byron. Selected poetry and letters. Muses, what is the message from Lord Byron? Inspire us this evening. Then Satan turned and waved his swarthy hand, which stirred with its electric qualities, clouds farther off than we can understand. Although we find him sometimes in our skies, infernal thunder shook both seas and land. In all the planets and hell's batteries, let off the artillery, which Milton mentions as one of Satan's most sublime inventions. Wild. Then Satan turned and waved his swarthy hand. His swarthy hand, right? That hand that tempts, that brings that charisma and that desire, which stirred with its electric qualities, right? Which stirred with its, caused that spark of inspiration in those around him. Clouds farther off than we can understand. This action had resounding effects across time and space. Although we find him sometimes in our skies, infernal thunder shook both sea and land. Because that satanic force resounds throughout the three worlds. It matters not where he is. And all the planets in hell's batteries left off the artillery, which Milton mentions as one of Satan's most sublime inventions. One of Satan's most sublime inventions, the artillery, that spark of the fire, right? Which brings destruction, immediate destruction. Wow. Intense. All right, let's continue. We are now going to go to A Sinister Assassin by Antonin Artaud. Muses, what is the message from Artaud? Inspire us this evening. From that, there's a mental life, but no true organic life. From that, the simple idea of a pure organic life can even present itself. We've seen this message before, but it is such a profound one, right? There is no difference between the mental and the organic. The organic is but, at least how we understand and perceive it, is a creation of the mental mind, of the mental image. Wow, intense. Let's continue. We are now going to go to the Divine Comedy, Dante. Muses, what is the message from Dante? Inspire us. When the flowers and the other fresh herbs on the other bank opposite were free of all those chosen people, 4 creatures came after them, each one crowned with green leaves, as star follows star in the sky. Each was plumed with 6 wings, the feathers full of eyes, and the eyes of Argus, if they were living, would be like them. Wow. When the flowers and the other fresh herbs on the other bank opposite were free of all those chosen people, 4 creatures came after them, each crowned with green leaves, right? Crowned with the leaves, crowned with the ivy. We see this for very specific deities in the Greco-Roman tradition, right? Lucifer, Phosphorus, Daimon, for one. Those daimonic energies. Wow. Each was plumed with 6 wings. Oh, sorry. As star follows star in the sky. As star follows star in the sky. Right? These are not just angels, but these are deities. They're just using that Christian imagery. The stars are deity, right? Wow. Each was plumed with 6 wings, that perfected middle path in the beauty of the wings in a flight. The feathers full of eyes, and the eyes of Argus, if they were living, would be like them. 1,000-eyed Argus, that titanic force, these wings full of eyes. Again, connecting us to this titanic energy. I immediately think of the divine twins, Artemis and Diana, right? Or sorry, Artemis, Diana, and Apollo, Lucifer, right? Beautiful. Let's continue. I'm now going to go to Women Who Run with Wolves. Myths and Stories of the Wild Woman Archetype by Clarissa Pinkola Estes. Muses, what is the message from Christina Pinkola Estes? If we listen to dream voices, to images, to stories, especially those from our own lives and to our own art, to those who have gone before and to each other, something will be handed out to us, even several somethings that are ritual, personal psychological rites, these serving to steady this stage of the process. Wow. Wow. How beautiful is this? I say basically this message constantly. This is the advice I give everyone. Listen to the dream voices, to the images, engage with the myths in the story, especially those from your own life. Know the self and create art of the self. Also look to those who have gone before. That divine reason comes from that experience from within and from without. When we embrace communal understanding as well as personal understanding. Wow. And to each other, something will be handed out to us, even several somethings that are ritual, personal psychological rites, these serving to steady the stage of the process. Something will be shown to you. The muses will inspire, and you will create the rites that you need in order to understand and move about in flow, in harmony. And it is these ritual acts of remembrance that connect us to our purpose and inspire us to move forward. Recognize the greatest sin is forgetfulness. And it is the act of ritual that allows us to engage and to remember and to profess our love again and again through that eros of distance, through the singing of the hymn, right? Beautiful. All right. We are now going to go to our tarot proper. But before I do, please give me a like and a subscribe. It really does make a big difference. Oh, It boosts everything in the algorithm. And I would truly, truly appreciate it. And if you're at all interested in a private reading, please reach out, snappydts@gmail.com, or find me on the Myth and Lore Discord, Snappy or Lady Snappy. All the info is in our description. And today we're going to be using the Tarot of M.M. Moline, Tabula Mundi. And we'll be invoking the energy of Saturn and asking them to dissect our life, to cut it up and expose it upon the plate, to show us our interconnections so we can learn how to rise above the conflicts, how to move in flow, and how to best actualize our true wills, and to learn the greater message for our community. And as always, that center card is the most important, and we had one shoot right out at us. The Prince of Cups, the heir of water. This is that young, masculine, outgoing energy. This is that energy of Attis. The one we've been seeing this message, this image for a while, right? This image was just in the Sortes being told in the House of the Dead, right? It's that image of recognizing that you're in the waters, that you're bound in the mud, that you have stopped moving, and that you need to disconnect from that physical and reconnect to that higher ideal, that mother, right? Attis is the one who recognizes this. And through that power of the beast, is ever able to sever that connection, to transform the self through divine imitation, and ascend the waters and return to the stars, Cybele reborn. But this is the beginning of the path. This is the beginning. This is recognizing that we must remove ourselves from that earth and strive for that air, right? But there's a recklessness and an immaturity here. There's a desire for this to happen yesterday, you know? So let's see where this energy is going. Prince of Swords, heir of air. How interesting. We have the water of air, and now we have the air of air. Two very high-minded, idealistic energies, right? Very high-minded, where that prince recognizes that flow and strives to ascend. The Prince of Swords is way up in the highest of pursuits, removed from the earth entirely. Now we have seen a breaking of the middle path, right? Where this is an energy that is striving for that balance, but has yet to achieve it. This is an energy that is out of balance and is striving for higher still. And what's important about this energy is recognizing the high-minded elitism, right? We see that prophet from on high dictating laws written in stone for the people below, completely detached from the reality of physical change in the flowing force of life and nature, right? Judgmental energy of harshness, of high-minded idealism. Let's continue. Where is this going? Oh, beautiful. There's an intensity here. You know what I'm seeing here? This prince energy is going away, right? That prince of air, that elitist, high-minded, judgmental, it is pursuing this beautiful, high-minded goal, right? It does see this magic. It does see that, the prince of air, it's such complicated energy because this is often these energies have the best of intentions and they see things in such a beautiful light, but there is a harshness and a desire to change the world for them to force their will upon others, right? It doesn't work that way. What we're seeing here is that this energy is dying. It's going through that transition. It's falling out of favor. It's falling out of favor. We're moving beyond that idealism, and we are instead embracing personal responsibility and working towards that energy of flow. We still have that high-minded pursuit of the air, but now we are flowing with the waters, moving in harmony with those around us, seeking to find that center, seeking to engage in that divine imitation. You know, the prince with that airiness of air doesn't recognize that he himself needs to adapt, right? That air of water, this prince knows all too well that they must adapt, that they're falling short. So what we're seeing here is a change of focus and a change of understanding and approach. But there's still, both of these energies are still immature energies, right? There's still energies that need to take responsibility, that need to grow. But we're seeing a shift away from high-minded idealism to personal responsibility, and that is a beautiful transition. Let's continue. Wow. When we embody that Prince of Cups energy, when we can take responsibility and strive to move in that flow, to put that high-minded idealism into that flowing energy of the waters, we find that reciprocal love, right? We are drawing down that love, that Six of Cups, that reciprocal pleasure, that middle way, you know? This is about being in that reciprocal harmony with those around you, not engaging in needless fighting, learning to love and flow, to give and receive. Beautiful, beautiful energy. How beautiful is this? We keep seeing Lady Babylon again and again and again showing up. And I love to see her. I love to see her. That lust card. Astarte, the queen of starry heaven. You know, this energy of the lust, of the strength, is all about pursuing what we truly desire, right? The pleasure. A lot of people, they misunderstand because of that word pleasure. And they misunderstand because of that word lust. While these words are true, there's a limited understanding most of us have when we hear these concepts. You know, we think about them through that sexual gratification, personal gratification lens. But this is about being in a harmonious, loving flow and pursuing joy, loving life and loving the world, connecting in communal harmony, and bringing about that communal harmony through the strength of one's desire. Beautiful reciprocal flow, supportive communal flow, right? Magic. Let's continue. Oh, interesting. And we have yet another prince, another energy of that young, outgoing energy, of that masculine that is striving for transformation and growth. And the Prince of Wands, the air of fire. Interesting how we connect with that lust. Wow. What I'm seeing here is that there is a growth that is needed, and it's this coming together again of community, harmony, understanding. In the center, we saw the energy that we needed to embrace, right? To give up that high-minded idealism and to take that personal responsibility, to work and move and flow without conflict, right? Now what we're seeing is that energy allows us to manifest community, to be in reciprocal flow, to pursue our desires, right? And to inspire. And this is the key, to inspire. We must inspire others. We must inspire others to action. We must engage with the youth Engage with those around us. Engage with those who seek change and growth and transformation. The Prince of Wands is that outgoing energy of seeking after that lust, of seeking after that pleasure, right? Of pursuing this energy. The issue with the Prince is that the Prince shows up selfish, right? The Prince is that immature, self-centered energy because it is young and unexperienced. We want to transform that energy into the Knight who can see beyond themselves, who recognizes the need to protect and defend, right? So this Prince energy is that reckless energy in pursuit of self, right? In pursuit of that fiery, passionate desire. What we're seeing, though, is that energy is inflamed and it is inspired by that Babylon, by that love, by that fiery feminine, right? By that fiery feminine. How do we change and affect our world? Through community and loving harmony, through giving people that pleasure, through giving people that love, right? That Prince wants love. We give them love and we help them to grow to become a knight, right? Rather than chastise the Prince for desire, which is human, right? We engage the Prince with that energy of strength and we teach them how to pursue their loving energy in a reciprocal, harmonious way that flows with community. We teach that Prince to take responsibility and become the Knight. All right, let's continue. Again, we're seeing this card. Wow, so much of this Ace of Discs. Harpocrates, right? That image of the child to come, taking responsibility, imagining, transforming your reality, transforming your earth, your present, building something tangible and real in the earth, something that'll grow and manifest as that tower, right? That'll transform and expand and bring beauty, strength, and security. But that image, that tower begins with the imagination. It begins with desire and seeing where this will grow. To embody the ace, you must see the 10 and know where you're going. Try to create something that is true. And starting at the beginning, starting with that grandiose image and then putting it into praxis. All right. And that's so beautiful. It's connected to that Prince of Cups and that pleasure of community. What I'm seeing here is that this Ace of Discs comes out of this image, this true image of the tower, of that building, of that foundation. It will arrive when we can embrace that loving harmony and we can flow with community. And that image will be born out of communal understanding. Beautiful. Let's continue. 9 of Swords, cruelty. This is intense energy. And we see it's connected to that Prince of Swords and to that Lady Babylon, as well as to the Ace of Discs. The 9 of Swords is that self-doubt, self-pain at its most intense, at its most intense. When we go to the 10, the cycle is finished. The ruin is complete. But now we're seeing it at its most sharp. This is that fear to change, that fear to let go of that high-minded idealism. You know, part of that idealism of the Prince is a self-cruelty. Almost always when you meet people who embody this energy, there is a suffering present within the heart. There is a holding to an unattainable ideal, And there is a lashing out at those around them because they can't attain it. You know, it's that I must force everyone to strive for the ideal, and that's the only way the ideal can manifest. And there is an intense anger and resentment when their ideal fails to come to earth. And it leads to this profound cruelty, to this profound self-hatred, to this profound judgment and hatred of others, right? On one hand is an extreme judgmental self-loathing, recognizing that we feel to live up to our own standards. And then there's an incredible cruelty outgoing as we condemn and judge the world around us for failing to meet our standards. How do we overcome this cruelty? How do we let go of those perceptions? How do we abandon this egoic, narcissistic thinking? We do it through that pursuit of love, that strength, connecting to that muse, embodying love and connecting to others in harmony, in physicality, engaging in nature, taking our head out of the clouds and coming back to what is real, building in generation for the pursuit of love and growth, right? Having the strength to pursue our desires and being honest about our desires. Again, this prince is not honest. This prince hold themselves to an unattainable ideal, right? And they deny themselves what they want. They deny themselves their true will because they believe that they must strive for something greater, hold themselves to something greater than they can even achieve. You have to start where you're at. You have to face the person in the mirror. If you cannot recognize who is there, you cannot overcome. The first part of this lust card is admitting what you desire and embracing that desire and recognizing that it's human and it is natural. We all want love. We all want that reciprocal flowing pleasure, right? The key is to do it in that reciprocal flow, in harmony with others, right? Okay, let's see where this is going. The Hermit. The final card we're seeing here in our top left, connected to that Ace of Discs and the Nine of Swords, the cruelty, is the Hermit, that energy of the Virgo. How do we overcome the self-cruelty and the doubt? How do we let go of being that idealistic, righteous judge? We take responsibility for ourselves and we do the hard work of reflection. This is about admitting when we've fallen short, admitting when we are clouded in our judgment, and doing something about it. The Hermit takes responsibility. The Virgo ascends to the stars through their own action, right? This is about doing that hard work, sitting and reflecting and taking responsibility. Sitting and reflecting and imagining what the future will be. Sitting and reflecting and recognizing this cruelty, outward and inward, right? That needs to be let go. You cannot be in that reciprocal loving flow of pleasure if you're in this judgmental cruelty, where you hate the self, hate the world, and hate those around you. Wow, intense energy. Let us continue. I'm now going to flip my camera so that you can see the full square. And once again, please give me a like and a subscribe. And leave a comment if you find that this reading resonates. I would truly appreciate it. And if you're at all interested in a private reading, please reach out, snappydddts@gmail.com, or find me on the Myth and Lore Discord. All the info is in the description below. So we're going to start here with that Prince of Swords, that airiness of air, right? That cruelty is a result of being in this judgmental, idealistic mode, you know? of being in that too high-minded attacking phase, of holding people to unreachable standards that you yourself can't even achieve. And all it results is in that cruelty and that conflict. That cruelty and that conflict. You know, I don't like to get too present about our current circumstance, but this energy to me represents so much of where politics is at. You know, especially when combined with that cruelty. And the only way we overcome that is when we move in that loving harmony, when we have the strength to pursue what we desire, when we have the strength to face ourselves in the mirror, right? To pursue that muse and to overcome that cruelty by taking responsibility for ourselves. All right, let's see. The Prince of Cups. We talked about this. The Prince of Cups is the one that recognizes that they need to be in that higher flowing way. They recognize that they are bound into the earth and they strive to rise above the waters, to move in the flow, to pursue the higher ideal, but to also be in loving flow with the world around them, you know, but still immature energy. But it's this desire to move and flow and to be in that harmony that'll lead us to that pleasure, that'll bring about that establishment of community, that reciprocal loving flow, that'll come together to imagine and create a new foundation. You know, the Ace of Discs is the beginning of building something tangible and real in the physical earth. And it starts with that imagined dream. It starts with an image of a completed tower, of what we want, of what we desire, of what we are trying to achieve. And in this case, we're doing it as a community, something greater than that individual pursuit. All right. That death energy, right? That death energy. It's beautiful, right? Letting go of this reckless, driven energy of self-pleasure, right? Self-fulfillment. And instead becoming that Virgo, the one who does the hard work of self-reflection, right? It's not about letting go of desire, but about, right, connecting to that true desire, to that true will, you know, moving to something greater and stronger still, right? We must let go of these energies of the Prince of Swords and the Prince of Wands. We want to inspire these young energies to do something different, to move in that flow, to take responsibility, you know? This death is about a transformation. And when faced with that profound change, we must do the hard reflection and actively change, actively do something about it. Interesting. Let's look at our crosses here. This Nine of Swords, cruelty, right? This conflict, it also is coming from this energy, that selfish energy, you know, that selfish energy. And it's also coming from that irresponsible energy. What I'm seeing here is that there is these two high-minded pursuits. They both think that they're doing what is righteous. They both think that they're following the true path, right? One is moving in flow. One is moving towards desire. But both are showing up immature and short-sighted, right? The difference here is in both instances, but this prince matures through that engaging with community, through being in that harmonious, loving flow, and through actively working and creating an image through multiplicity, right? This prince overcomes this negative energy when they embrace transformation, do the hard work of self-reflection, right? Do the hard work of self-reflection, and then connect to that muse. connect to that muse. Right? It's all about being in that loving flow, being in that harmonious action, being in the proper pursuit of community and growth and building, letting go of selfish desire, letting go of high-minded idealism, and embracing self-responsibility, self-action, and building something tangible through that communal reciprocal flow. You know, there's still a long journey here, but this is about finding the right path, right? Walking the right way, pursuing that divine muse, and doing the hard work of self-reflection. All right, everyone, that's the message. I hope it resonated with you. It certainly resonated with me. Let's do one final sword taste, and then we'll call it an evening. Okay. Goethe, Faust. Muses, what is the final message for our audience this evening? Tut, tut. In such distinguished company, unseemingly joking would be out of place. Therefore, speak up, sir. What's the wine to be? And I'll endeavor then to please. What's the wine to be? And I'll endeavor to please. What a beautiful image. Stop the fighting, crack open a bottle of wine, and connect as humans. Love it. All right, everyone. Peace and love. I hope I see you again tomorrow for more live tarot and sword tastes. Take care.